Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Confirm I'm being heard. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, sir. We can hear you.
Thank you. Confirm again you can hear me, please. I just changed my headset, please.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Loud and clear.
Thank, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for that break. Um, Let me quickly share my screen as we progress today.
I helped my 10-year-old daughter do her hair.
All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's class. Today's class is going to be more intuitive, interactive, and we're going to be doing more of the work collaboratively together and getting on with the process mapping. Today, we're dealing with the issue of business process mapping. What is process mapping? Process mapping is just a visual representation of a process or a workflow. Simply put, process mapping is the simplification of a process to the stakeholders. So we're talking about process mapping. It's just bringing out visuals, mapping out the steps that it will take to complete a process, to complete a workflow. And the purpose of process mapping is to give your team. Now, understand that when you are working as a business analyst and you are working with your team, with your stakeholders, you'll be dealing with a lot of people. You'll be dealing with the programmers, the development team, you'll be dealing with the tester, you'll be dealing with the users, you'll be dealing with your senior management, different stakeholders, and you should be able to have a language to be able to bring your facts to the different stakeholders. So when you are working with your team, different teams, the process map will be able to help us to bring the fact, the requirement, the need that we have elicited from our various meetings with our stakeholders. Before we go into the process mapping, we'll quickly talk about business process improvement. Let's not forget the work of a business analyst is to solve problems, is to bring about improvement in the process of an organization. Now, process improvement, which we'll be referring to as BPI as we go along, is an approach, a systematic approach that we use to identify, analyze, and enhance a business process. So we need to identify the need, identify the problem, identify the situation, analyze it, and ensure we bring an enhancement in the process, in the product, in the service. Whatever we are dealing with, business process improvement is to ensure that bottlenecks are removed, wastage are removed, inefficiencies are removed, and we are bringing about value to the system. So it could be the process, how things have been done that needs to be improved. It could be the product that needs to be improved. It could be that the resource allocation, financial allocation, human resource allocation are not well aligned. It could be that. It could be operational procedure. Whatever it is, business improvement, process improvement focuses on the area that there is need to be improved in the system. Now, we cannot overemphasize the importance of business process improvement. We see increase in productivity, enhanced efficiency. It leads to cost reduction, improved quality. We see it attracts customers. When you do your customer segmentation or customer analysis, and you begin to do things that will make your customers to begin to come on, it will also reduce the risk. It will improve innovation and growth in your company organization. It also brings agility and adaptability. Things change every moment. So we begin to see agility as well as adaptability. We see competitive advantage. There are different competitors. And for us to continue in business, we need to begin to bring processes that will make us to have this competitive advantage, and as well as customer satisfaction, because it is driven by the satisfaction of our customers. Now, there are different methods that is used in business process improvement. We have the Six Sigma, we have the Lean process, we have the quality process using Toyota, and many other processes. But for us, we are dealing with a business process management. And the steps in business process management in improving our business have to deal with these 5 steps: analyze, model, implement, monitor, optimize. The first stage of any process improvement is to analyze what is the need, what is the situation, what are we currently doing. So as a business analyst, or as a project manager, or as a change analyst, you should be able to understand the current situation. Now, the current situation, the current process is what we refer to as is. As is. Please, let's take notes of it. As is. As is actually the current procedure or the current process. We refer to it as is. So when you go to an organization and they tell you as a business analyst, we want you to map out the as is. They are just trying to tell you, bring what is the current procedures, what is the current process. So you map out the as is. So we need to analyze the state. Now, as we look at analyze the process, analyze the need, analyze the situation, you begin to identify what are the inefficiencies, what are the problems in this analysis stage, what are the bottlenecks, what are the wastages. Those are the things we do in the first stage of analysis. Then we now progress from there to the next stage, which is to model. We have identified in the first stage the inefficiencies. We have identified the bottlenecks. We have identified the wastages. We have identified the problems. Now, based on that, we need now to model what will be the way out, what will be the ideal process, what will be the solution to this process. And that is where we now go to the next stage, which is to be. The assist is the current stage. To be is the stage we want to go to, we want to get to. So when they tell you Can you map out the to be? That is where we are transiting to. Now, between the as is and to be, what is as is again? As is means what?
Current
Where are my
process.
people?
Current
As it is what?
procedures.
Yeah, the current stage, the current process. To be means what?
The
Where
stage
we're
to
going
be
to.
where we're going
Thank
to.
you. Where we are going to. The ideal process. Between the as is and the to be, we have what we call the gap analysis. What is the gap analysis? Gap analysis is the difference between where we are now and where we need to be. You have identified the inefficiencies and you have known what is the solution. So you have that gap, what we need to plug in, to put in place, to move from here to this point is what we call the gap analysis. And that's the technique of the business analyst. And what's the gap analysis? You have identified the current situation and you have looked at the bottlenecks. These are the things we need to correct. These are the things we need to correct. And if we do this and we do this, we'll get to this place. What you have just simply done is the gap analysis. So you can say that one of the techniques you can use is a gap analysis. Identify the current situation, look out for the inefficiencies and the bottlenecks and the wastages, know what you need to do to come to an ideal process, the to be where we need to be, and you model it, you draw it out. That is the second stage of the business process management. Now, the third stage is to implement that model that we have designed. We need now to put it into practice. And we'll now begin to put in place what are our key success metrics so that we said we are moving from year to year. This is what we are going to achieve. These are the metrics. These are the things we are going to achieve. We are going to have reduction in paper use from this to this number. It's going to reduce by 30%. That's the metric. The waiting time is going to reduce by this. Our clients or our staff, our workers will not be struggling to come to the office or be calling to say, where is shift, available shift? No, everything will be automated and done online. So we now establish our metric and we begin to implement what we have designed in the model. Then the step 4 is to begin to monitor. The things we have implemented will now begin to monitor it. Are the metrics improving? Are the success metrics we have identified, are they improving? Are there reduction in wastages? Are we seeing improvement? Are things working well? We'll now begin to monitor. And the last stage is to optimize. As we begin to implement and monitor, we begin to see that there are still some adjustments we still need to make. There's progress. Remember, it's a continuous it's a continuous process. It evolves. So we begin to still look for inefficiencies and see a way to improve the process. This is the business process management technique that we're employing in business improvement, process improvement. Now, in drawing our maps, we have the UML, Unified Modeling Language, or the BPMN, Business Process Modeling Notation. These are standard notations we use in drawing, in mapping out. Now, there are 4 signs. Forget all the signs here, but there are 4 signs or notations that are very important. Number 1 is this over sign. This over sign here, it always indicates the start and the end of a process. So when you see an over sign, is the start, it indicates the start of a process or the end of a process. The next sign I would like us to know very much is this rectangle sign. Is a process step. So we are moving from this process to another process. So every rectangle represents a process. Then we have another sign that is very important, is this diamond sign, which is the decision sign. This is a sign that indicates a decision that is going to be made, a yes or a no, a fail or a pass. So if it is yes, it will go through this direction. If it is no, it will go through another direction. If it is pass, it goes through a direction. If it is fail, it goes through another direction. So this is another important one we will be using. Every other ones are also important, but they are not key. As you keep on practicing and progressing and getting advanced, you now begin to say, okay, I'm going to use this. I'm going to use this. Now, if you see this one, it's a delay. Sorry. It's a delay where a decision is going to be made. For instance, you are drawing a process flow for an approval, maybe a leave approval. And you said the leave process is going to be automated. You are going to submit this request, and it will go to a stage where there will be an approval from your line manager. There's going to be a delay there. And this sign, this delay sign is what we're going to use. But those are advanced processes as we go along. But this sign, the oval sign, the rectangle sign, the diamond sign, and these arrow signs are the 4 signs or notations I would like us to keep handy as we progress in our class today. I want you to know that after we have elicited requirements, we have sat down with our stakeholders, and we have listed a lot of things that we need to improve on. Not every one of the requirements will be implemented immediately. So much requirements, so much things to be done, but they must be done in phases, in stages. And as such, we need to prioritize our tasks. Remember, if we are dealing with a product, a minimum valuable product, something we need to ship into the market immediately, we can't give everything at a blow. So we have 3 weeks, we have 3 months to deliver on a project. So we need to prioritize what is important to release, to give out in this first stage or in this first phase. So the prioritization techniques will help us to make informed decisions on what we need to do now. So even in our place of work, one of the skills they expect from us is that we can prioritize tasks. When you prioritize your work, and they ask you in a course of interview, how do you prioritize when there are compelling needs? When there is demand from here and demand from here, how do you prioritize your tasks? How do you prioritize your load, the work that has been given to you, to ensure that you don't lag behind and the work doesn't suffer? And one of the key things that you need to know in answering such kind of questions is to understand what is business critical need. What is important to the business at this time, not what is important to you. So our prioritization is number 1, to address business critical need. So if the business critical need says, this is what we want now, that is what we're going to channel our resources, our team members, to face, to focus on. And the other people that are doing no much things can be dealing with the other things. So we need to prioritize. Now, there are a lot of techniques we use for prioritization, but we're just talking about one common one we use in the agile process or in software development process, and that is the Moscow prioritization techniques. Moscow prioritization techniques. Now it's just the MSCW. Now the M is must have. So it's a feature that must be have, that we must have. S is should have. It is important, it is vital, but the value is not as much as must have. Now, C is could have. It's a nice initiative. If we still have time, we can add it. If there is still opportunity to add it, let's add it. But it's not compulsory, it's not a must have. And lastly is will not have. It's not a requirement we should be thinking about. It's not a requirement we are thinking about. So when we talk about a logging process, for instance, and we have come to a we have required from our stakeholders, and they have come with a lot of suggestions. And in the logging process, they have come up with we can log in with our username and password. We have thought you can log in with fingerprint. You can log in with facial recognition. I have mentioned 3 requirements now. Logging with your username and password, logging with fingerprint, logging with facial recognition. Now we are doing software development that we're going to release in the next 2 months. Which of these is a must-have for the next 2 months release? Are we there?
Password.
I need a response.
Username and password.
What?
Password.
Password.
Okay, username and password.
Username and password, yeah.
Thank you very much. Facial face, it's nice to have. It's nice. It's a good one. It's nice, but it doesn't make an impact in our immediate need right now. So that's examples of how we classify or we prioritize our requirements as we go on. You look at the time, you look at the target that is before us, and we want to release a minimum valuable product within this short time. And we need to target everything. This is a must-have. This is a should-have and could have. This one, no, we will not have it. This is one of the prioritization techniques that we use in our day-to-day activity in our work. Now, let's quickly talk about use case and user story. I know Doctor in earlier class he has talked about user story, but let's just talk a little about use case today and user stories again. Now, what is a use case? A use case is a technique used in software engineering to capture functional requirements of system from the user's perspective. Now, it describes the sequence of actions that we need to take. So, for instance, a use case can be log in. A use case can be cash withdrawal. A use case can be deposit funds. A use case can be change password. Those are use cases. Now we begin to sequentially list out the process in each of these use cases. So if you want to do your login, the first thing you need to do is to register. After you register, you get into the site, you put in your password, you put in your username, put in your password, you click sign in or log in. Those sequential steps is what we call the use case. Now, what is a user story? User story is just a concise formal description of a functionality, like the login we talked about. As an admin, I want to be able to log in so that I can access my account. That is a user story. It just give a concise description of the functionality, but the use case will give the sequence of the actions that is needed. So as a business analyst, you need to know what is a use case. We used to know what is a user story. Now, when we are dealing on our backlog in Jira or in Scrum, we'll be dealing much with our user stories. Our product backlog will be dealing much with our user stories. And closely related to our user story is our acceptance criteria. Now, what is the just as the user story is typical, as a format or a template as a user, that is the persona, you put the goal so that I want to achieve this. We also have the acceptance criteria, and it is given when then structure. So what is the acceptance criteria for a login? The acceptance given that when I log in with my correct username and password, when I click login, then my account should open for me. That is the acceptance criteria. So when this acceptance criteria is not met, then we have not successfully implemented what is the solution. So closely related to the user story is the acceptance criteria. Now, we'll go a little bit further now. Now, user story. Now, this is the login example I just gave. As a customer, as a bank customer, I want to log to the bank application with the correct username and password so that I can have access to my account. Now, what is the acceptance criteria? Given a valid username and password login, when I click login, then I should have access to my account. Another use case here is cash withdrawal. As a bank account holder, I want to withdraw cash from my ATM. From ATM, so that I can access my funds conveniently and securely. That's the user story. What's the acceptance criteria? Given that my account balance is greater than or equal to the requested withdrawal amount, when I start my card and enter a valid PIN, then I should be able to withdraw the requested amount from the ATM or of cash. User story and acceptance criteria. Does it make any sense at all?
Yes.
Yes, it does.
Are we
Yes.
together?
Yeah.
Does it make any sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks. Now, we are now moving to the practical now. Now, in doing our process mapping, we normally use different tools. Common is to many organizations is Visio, which is from Microsoft. Visio is a tool that is used for drawing. PowerPoint also can be used. We have you go to your insert, you see some of those basic notations I called, they are in PowerPoint, which we can also use to quickly draw our process map. LucidChat.com, drawio.com, diagrams.net are also free tools on the net, web-based tools that we can use to enhance our drawing as well. So we'll quickly dive now into the practicals. Now, but we need to define what we want to do. So in process mapping, the first stage is for you to identify what you want to map. What are the stages? What are the boundaries? So the starting point is to say, this is what we want to map, and you have known the stages. And one of the things that will help you to know the stages is to do your use case. your use case. So you pick your use case and you now begin to describe what you want to achieve. And with that, you will discover that you have done a good chunk of your process mapping. Is now for you to now begin to visualize it. Now let's go to the practical, and I will need us to work together. Now I would like us to use lucidchat.com. Lucidchat.com. I don't know how many of us can browse go to LucidChat and make sure you are handy with LucidChat. Maybe did you see the let me just drop the link to the LucidChat on the chat box so that we can. All right, here's my chat. Lucid.com. Okay, I just dropped it on our chat box right away. Now let's take a use case. Which use case are we going to deal with right now? I would like us to deal with a use case. Which use case are we going to deal with now? Let me share my screen, sorry. Let's pick a use case. Okay, I talked about cash withdrawal. Can we use cash withdrawal? And let's design a use case for a cash withdrawal. Use case for a cash withdrawal. Cash withdrawal, cash withdrawal. So this is a sample of how we write our use case. It is important we know. So title, I would like us to flow together now. The title now is going to be ATM cash withdrawal. Now the actor. Who is the actor now? It's going to be the bank customer. Is that not so? Bank customer. Okay. Now we need to put the precondition. Now the precondition is when you go to a bank, to an ATM machine, what is the precondition before you can withdraw money? Yes, I need your views now. What is the what?
When you insert your card, you enter your passport.
So
Your
the
PIN.
precondition is that you must have your ATM card.
Yes.
You must have your ATM card. Another precondition again is what?
PIN.
Your PIN.
No. Okay, you know your ATM and PIN. The ATM should be powered on.
Okay.
Is that not so?
Yes.
Yes.
And must also have network.
Yes.
Is that not so?
Yeah.
Okay. Another precondition is that there should be funds inside. Is that not so?
Yes.
There should be funds inside. So, yes, thank you. So that's the precondition. Now we'll now go to what we call the main flow. Main flow. The main flow. These are the steps. If these conditions are met, you are a bank customer, you have your ATM card, there is money in the ATM, there is network in the ATM. Now you now get there. What are the steps? What is the first step? The first step should be what?
Insert a card.
Insert card. Thank you. What's the next step?
Input PIN.
Input PIN.
Someone wants to choose language.
Choose language. Okay. So let's put ATM before it tells you PIN, the ATM machine will prompt insert PIN. Is that not so?
Yes.
It will say insert PIN. Then the customer will now insert the PIN. Is that not so?
Yes.
After the customer insert the PIN, what's the next stage?
Choose
ATM should ask what you want to do.
No. ATM should do something else.
Okay.
accept PIN.
Confirm PIN.
Like verify.
Verify.
Verify. Verify PIN. After verifying PIN, now what happens? If PIN is correct, what happens? If the PIN is
Accept.
correct, what will happen?
Accept.
Eh?
If the PIN is correct, you accept.
Yes, it's okay.
If the PIN is correct, the ATM will do what?
Proceed to the next step.
I think it will maybe welcome you to your
It will prompt different options.
yeah.
Eh?
Yeah.
Including cash what?
Withdrawal.
Including cash withdrawal. It gives you different options, but we're just interested in cash withdrawal.
Yeah.
Are we together?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay. All right. If not correct, if not correct, alternate flow. You know what I've written now? If the PIN is correct, it will do this. If the PIN is not correct, it will give us another language. Is that not so? It will tell us incorrect PIN. Is that not so?
Yes.
Yeah? So
Yes.
we just wrote that one. If not correct, alternate flow. What we are doing right here is the main flow. We'll come to alternate flow later. So take note of this. Let's just color it red. Alternate flow. If not correct, alternate flow. Take note of this, please. Now, if it prompts us, so what is the next stage right now? After it prompts you, let's assume the PIN is correct. What now happens?
Enter amount.
Huh?
I think.
No. The
No.
customer will do something. Customer will select. Customer will
Select
select.
account.
No, we withdraw. You will select withdrawal because we said it will show the options, including cash withdrawal. So you need to select withdrawal. True or false?
True.
Is that not so?
Yes.
I'm sure we're using ATM now. So after you select withdrawal, what happens next?
Enter amount.
Huh? Correct. Display
Okay.
various amount slash and a place to impute amount. Is that the flow?
Yes.
Okay, let's go ahead. Are we clear to this stage, please, everybody?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, after this stage, what's the next stage now?
Choose amount.
Choose amount.
Correct.
Choose amount.
Yes. Either you select
Select.
amount or impute amount. Yes. After this stage, what's next?
It's enter. Yeah.
Enter.
No.
Yes.
So once you
Enter.
series of current, like your bank, your account type. Some ask
What?
your account type. If you're using series of current.
Yes. Some doesn't use. Some ask. Some doesn't ask. Let's assume in this case it's not asking.
After you select amount.
So what's the next stage after this one? After selecting the amount,
I think it's to press enter.
huh?
Press
Press
enter
enter.
to confirm amount.
So I'll ask if you need receipt.
So at this point, the
Dispense
system,
card.
the ATM will also verify
Okay. If you
if
have up
the
that
amount you want
amount,
to collect,
you have that
you have
amount in
that
your account.
balance.
Yeah.
Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So what are the things we do in our elicitation, requirement elicitation? We pick all the stages, we document them, and this is the solution. So these are the step-by-step things we will say. We'll walk over it, look at it, come back again until we get a final step or procedure. Now, ATM verifies
Amount entered. The amount. Balance is sufficient.
So at this stage, if sufficient, let me say if yes,
Okay.
what will happen?
Pays. To pay.
Okay, let's say okay, it pays.
If yes.
If no, or if not, what will happen?
Alternate flow.
Alternate flow. Okay, after this stage, what's the next stage? It has paid you. What's the next stage?
And
And
then to ask you if you want to do something else. Sometimes.
Okay. Yeah, there are different machines with different process. I just want to pick one. Okay. Okay. ATM. What? Ask if you after that, what happens?
If yes.
Is that yes or no? Is that not so?
Yes, sir.
yes. Yes.
Okay. So you will say yes. The customer will say impute. We select. Sorry. select yes or no.
No.
Now,
Or
if
if yes, alternate
if
flow, and if no, end.
okay, if yes, if yes,
If yes, ATM prompts different options.
Mhm.
sorry, let me do something. Let's number this thing. This is not for here. Okay. All right. Okay. If yes, you want to do something else, it will take you to which number?
5.
Uh,
But it's just second part of 5.
Hmm?
You wouldn't need to re-enter your PIN.
No, you will have to re-enter your PIN again.
takes you to number 4.
Hmm? No, number 3
No, 3. Number 3, sorry.
or number 2. Number 2.
Okay, yes, number 2.
Yes. Eh? Go to number 2. If no, what else?
It's alternate flow, I don't know.
Huh?
If no, end.
Return card.
Correct.
Yeah,
If
return
no,
card.
what?
Return card.
Customer retrieves or ATM releases the card. Anyone? Let me put the customer retrieves
Card.
Has the customer collected the money already?
No.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
did he say he has?
Yes, now so let's withdraw now.
Pay,
You select
pay,
withdrawal. So where did he disperse the money? At what
ATM
point
pay.
is the money being dispersed?
Number 9 now.
Pay, number 9, ATM verifies the balance is sufficient to pay. If yes, pay.
Okay, if yes.
Pay.
Okay, okay, okay. If yes, okay, it pays. That the cash is dispersed here. Yeah? Okay, okay, that's good. And what's the next stage now?
We go to your house.
Number 2. If no,
We look at the
Huh?
alternate flows. There's some places where we put alternate flow.
alternate flow.
No, is it so? Is this the end of this process now?
Yes.
Yes.
So it ends the process here. Process end. Okay. Let's go to the alternate flow. So let's deal with alternate flow 1. We have 2 alternate flow. Or is it 2 or 3 alternate flow? Let's deal with alternate flow 1. So the first alternate flow, ATM verifies PIN. If it is not correct, what happens?
Prompt
Huh?
re-enter PIN. Customer
So,
re-enters PIN.
okay, take
Displays incorrect pin.
to take you to which step now?
Step 2.
Go to step 2. Is that not so?
Yes.
Eh? Good.
Yes.
Good. Now, there are times we have a point. If you insert the pin more than how many times it will retrieve it? What
3
happens
times.
there? More than 3 times, okay? So we now have
Withhold card.
withhold card. We now put if customer re-enters pin. Is it 3 times or more than 3 times?
After 3 times, more than 3 times.
After 3 times.
More than 3?
Yes.
It will do what?
Withhold card.
Okay.
Retain. Okay. Retain card.
Is that clear?
Yes.
Enters
Hmm?
wrong.
So,
Enters
no, okay. If
wrong
customer
pin.
re-enters wrong pin, good. Now, but if you enter, if not, the ATM will prompt message incorrect what?
Pin.
Pin. Is that not so?
Yes.
Hmm?
Re-enter.
And you now go to step 2.
Yes.
Then if you do it more than this, it retains it. Is that clear?
Yes.
Everybody confirm, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, thanks. Now, we have another alternate flow. Can we put that alternate flow?
Verify balance. That's number 9. Flow 2.
Okay, let me keep that one as assignment. Let me keep that one as assignment. All right. Has somebody written this down on your script, please? Has somebody written this down, all of this? Because we want to go to the drawing, and I might not be seeing this. I want somebody to be calling it for us. Does anybody have this one?
Picture of
Yeah,
it.
I have it. I have it.
Okay. Thanks. Now let's go now to draw. Sorry, today we're going to shoot a little bit out of our time just to get this sorted. Now let's go to let's go to Lucid. I want to go to Lucid. Are you still seeing my screen?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
What are you seeing now?
Explore the Lucid community.
Lucid.
Good. So when you enter the Lucid, you just need to register. Register for the free one, and it takes you here. And let's say we'll go to the new Lucid. New Lucid. We want to draw right now. We want to draw. Remember, I told you the basic 4 signs we have. This one, rectangle for process. This one for what? Decision. This one, our terminator, start and end. Don't forget this one. And the 4th one I said we're going to be using is what?
Arrow.
our arrow sign, our arrow, very important. And I want to also say here that most times we have activity diagram, we have process organization chart, we have business process map, we have swim lane. Now, I think we have swim lane here. Okay, this is swim lane here. This is swim lane here. Now, what swim lane means is that if you are working on a cross-functional team, maybe this is a different teams. This is finance team. This is HR team. And this one is operations team. And you want to connect the process flow. Or the one we are just doing right now, you see this is the customer, bank customer, and here is the ATM machine. You can, these are swim lanes. We can decide to do any of them and just use it to flow. But, sorry. Let's just take a basic container now. I don't want to use a complex one. Let me just take a basic container. Which container do I use now? Which container do I use now? Which container do I use? No. Okay, let's okay, let's go. We said the starting point is this.
Yes.
And this year we are starting. Who is this person? Sorry. Sorry. Let's pull out this one. I need. Let me take another swim lane. Which container is this? I need a bigger container, not, oh, good. Should I use, okay, let's go with this one. So, don't give me that. The use case is cash withdrawal, is that also?
Yes.
Cash withdrawal. Okay, let's start with where's our, oh no, don't go out like that. Right. Yes, basic flow, the basic flow. We're pushing out of this place now. Use case. Shot. Okay. This is our bank customer. Is that also? Bank Customer. Okay, what's the next stage there?
ATM card. That's the
Eh?
precondition. The
No,
precondition.
no, not the precondition now. We are dealing with the main flow now. He has gotten there, everything is working, he has his card, the machine is working. So main flow, what's the first thing it does?
Insert card.
Insert card. So you see, like here, I can come and pick my arrow and draw, but this one's give me an arrow here, which I can click, and it's telling me which box do I need to pick. I'm going to pick a rectangle, it's a process, is that not so? And
Yes.
it's going to be insert what?
Card.
Insert card. Okay. Now, after that, what's the next process?
ATM prompt insert pin.
Okay.
Should be another process.
I can't even do like this. ATM does what?
Insert pin. ATM prompts insert pin.
ATM prompt insert pin. Yes, what's the next?
Pin.
Eh?
I think that's the customer enters pin. So
Customer enters pin. What's the next step?
ATM verifies pin.
What's the next step?
If pin is correct,
Yes.
ATM prompts different options, including
So
cash
if
withdrawal.
pin is correct,
Should be decision.
so we have a decision
Yes.
sign here now. Is that not so?
Yes.
Are we together?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Pin correct? If yes,
Okay.
eh?
Yes.
It has automatically brought out yes for us even there. Eh? If yes, what happens if you say yes?
ATM prompts different options, including cash withdrawal.
Different
options.
Options, eh?
Yes, sir.
Including cash withdrawal. I'm sure we know that.
Yes,
So
sir.
let me just keep it here. If no,
alternate flow.
If no, let's keep it here first. Let's keep it here.
Okay.
We'll come back again in the alternate flow. Eh? Let's continue this one. That it is okay. Let's go ahead. What happened next? After prompting different options, the customer will do what here?
Select withdrawal.
Select
withdrawal.
Yes. After selecting withdrawal, what next?
Displays various amounts.
Only one person they talk. Other people, are we correct?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So after select withdrawal, what's the next one?
Display various amounts
Display.
and a place to input amount.
Various what?
Amount
Amount
and
or
input amount.
impute amount. After that, what next?
Select amount or input amount.
Huh?
Select amount or input
Okay.
amount.
After this, what next?
ATM verifies if balance is sufficient to pay. That's a decision.
Verifies, huh?
Yes.
Verifies balance.
Thinking that place should
So
supposed
what?
to be decision.
So the next one will be what?
If yes, pay. It's still on that same place. That same step.
So
Should be
it will
decision.
verify. After
Okay.
verifying, we now come to a decision.
Yes.
Is that not so?
Yes.
Okay. So if yes, what happens?
Pay.
Yes.
Huh? Is that what we said?
Yes. If
Yes,
yes,
pays.
pays.
ATM pays.
Dispense cash.
Okay. More take.
Is that not so?
Yes.
Then
If no,
huh?
the lower one. On that decision part.
There are some machine at this point.
Yes.
The ATM will dispense both the cash and card. But dispense cash. After dispensing cash, what did we say next again?
Ask if customer wants to do something else.
Hmm?
Okay.
Ask if customer wants to do something else.
Ask of another operation. Is that not so?
Yes.
We'll now have a decision again.
Yes.
Is that not so?
Yes.
So here we have the customer choice. Here is sufficient balance.
At that point there, sorry, sir, that's sufficient balance. The sufficient balance, the decision part. If
Yes,
no,
the alternate. Yeah, we'll come to the no.
All right.
This arrow should be the no. Is that not so?
Yes.
We are just dealt with this. Then yeah, if it says what?
If he says
We have yes and no.
If yes, ATM prompts different options.
If you say yes, if you say yes,
yes.
Or it goes back to
number
step
2.
2, or ATM
What?
prompts different options.
It goes
It
to
will go
where?
back to the step for pin, before pin, to insert pin. Insert pin.
No. Let me take it off first. If yes, he said we should go to where?
Insert pin.
Is it insert pin?
Yes, sir.
We'll come back to this point.
Yes.
If no, what happens here?
End. Terminate.
Returns card.
That ends the process. Does it make any sense at all?
Yes.
Now,
Yes, sir.
let's come to
Yes.
this decision now. Is pin correct? Yes, we go. If no, what happens?
Be a process.
We enter pin.
So, okay. Now, pin
Incorrect. Okay.
wrong pin greater than how many times we said?
3.
3 times.
3 times? Yes. What should happen? It will terminate with a message here. And what will be the message?
Retain card.
Okay. Card retained.
Yes, sir.
Contact your what?
Bank.
Bank.
Your bank. If no, where does it go to?
The
ATM prompts different
ATM prompts.
options.
Huh?
ATM prompts different options, including cash withdrawal.
No. Wrong.
No.
Enter insert pin again then.
Huh?
It goes back to ATM prompt insert pin.
We've already inserted it here now.
No, that is
Okay,
if it's
no.
not wrong. It's not wrong now.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's not wrong, then it will go back to ATM prompts different
Okay. We say
options.
okay.
including
Prompt waiting. Wrong what?
Pin.
We say
different
wrong what?
No.
Wrong pin. Is that not so?
Yes.
Is that not what we said? It will prompt
Yes.
a message, incorrect pin or wrong pin. Is that not so?
Yes.
Yeah. And you now take us to stage what again? To insert our pin again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
If your balance is not sufficient, it will do what?
Then it
Just
displays it.
notify you.
Hmm?
Insufficient balance. I'll choose a lower amount.
Insufficient what? Balance. And it will direct you to now impute a correct listing. Is that not so?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You come here
Yes.
again to come and select. You come and select the right amount.
Yeah.
Is that the process?
Yes.
Yes.
This is process mapping. So before we can do a successful process mapping, we must have gotten our use case. And all the steps have been itemized. We have known the boundaries. We've known each of the processes. And we begin to go from step to step to step with the main flows and alternate flows. And with that, we can say we have produced the process map, whether it is the as is or it is to be. Now, this brings us to the end of our class today. If you have any question, you can now ask your question. Any question? Is it clear? Is it clear? Is it clear? Is
Yes,
it
sir.
clear? Yes, I would like us to make sure we go through this again. We enhance it. Remember, we did not finish the alternate flows number 2. And there are other options that we did not say. Maybe print pin and print receipt and the rest of that. We can enhance this. Let's do our best. Try it. Go through this process again. Let's do it ourselves and let's see our results in our process map. Thank you for being a part of today's class as I hand over to Dr. Yak.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. A very big thank you to you, Mr. Austin. So it's been a wonderful session doing this. Just to let us know, one of the projects that we'll be working on, it's going to require this. So it's going to be an online platform that we're planning to work on for a client that requires some development. So before the dev team does anything, some of us at the project phase are going to be working as business analysts to capture all of the requirements and to do all of this process flow to map everything that will be handed over to the dev team that will be doing these things. So everything that is being done here, please let's practice this thing and let's take them very, very seriously. And besides the fact that I mentioned project on the job as well, I always like to look at the job market. Take your time. Anything that we've done today, we did business process mapping. Put it on Google and look for job that involves that. You will see exactly job that describes what you've done today. So please, my message to everybody is take every bit of these things very seriously. Don't be quiet. Ask questions where you need to ask questions and participate. In the beginning, I did say it, active participation is the key to success in a world like this. If there's no other questions, we're not having any presentation tonight. If there's no other question from any person, if you have a question, you can ask your question. But if there's none, we'll catch up again on Saturday. And on Saturday is going to be Mr. T, as he will be introducing us to SQL, structure query language, where we'll be able to get data from databases that we want to do some analysis. And I leave it for Saturday when we come together to really get on with it. Any question from any person, any comment before we draw the curtain for the night?
Good evening, sir.
Yes, please.
Yeah. I noticed that for like the first like few minutes, my audio wasn't working, so I had to reconnect. So the question I just have is, today we've done an example of process mapping with user case scenarios. I wanted to ask, um in a business setting, maybe in an organization, are there like maybe is there like any practical example that you can give to us of maybe in an organization, maybe how they do things, maybe procedures of okay, who to meet to do this or who should start this or something like that.
Okay. So I give you a very live example. During coronavirus, I worked with the NHS COVID-19 app analytics team. And in the team, at the time I joined, the app was already live, so I didn't join before the app was built. But like every other thing, there's version 1.1, version 1.2, version 1.3. So the way the coronavirus was spreading and then things was coming down at some point, we're making different adjustments in the app. There was a time the app is going to tell you to isolate for maybe 14 days. Later, the app will only advise you instead of asking you to isolate. There was a time you need to turn on your Bluetooth for it to work. Some other time, without the Bluetooth, just with your GPS, it's still going to work. All of these were different changes that were made in the app. Before any of these changes are made, we're going to have meetings. We'll call it discovery sessions, where we discuss what we want to do. Now, this app, do we want to do this, and we'll say, okay, we want to do it that when the person click on this button, it's going to show the person that can you enter your coronavirus result, and when the person enters the result, it's going to show the person either isolate or it's going to tell the person you need to go out for another test or you need to now do the bigger test. And when it shows this, it will be this color, it will be this color. All of those discussions are being made, very detailed discussion. And there's a business analyst teams. They are gathering all of these things, writing down all of these. Then after that, they now go and do these drawings that we see here. So I joined the business analyst on their job, but on that team, I was a data analyst. I was gathering all of the data from the app. So I always go to iOS and also Google platform every morning when I resume work to go and get the data set to know what exactly has happened. And there are some other data that returns at 12 midnight from Google and Android. Sorry, Google and iOS, Apple. So, Buddy B, everything that you've been discussed on how the app would flow, like when you log in, it will show this, it will show that. And if you make the mistake, it will show this. They will come up with this drawing. Now, the idea of this drawing is when you're now discussing, instead of just talking theory that might be difficult to understand, this drawing gives a more pictorial representation of what you are trying to say. That when you do this, this would happen, and this would have two options. If it is to go back to this, like a flow chart. So it's like an algorithm that tells you the steps, the flow to what you do. And after this that you see now, this will now be done into what we call a mock-up and then a prototype. So a mock-up is going to be like you are now having a sketch of the app. You're going to sketch the app and all the way it will look like. Then a prototype will be very close to the app with color and everything. Some prototypes, if when you click it, it will even show another different screen. It will be kind of interactive, but they are all dummy. They are simply dummy apps. So when you've got that kind of design, that is what is given to the dev team. So the dev team, they are the people that are really doing coding. So all this flow that you and Mr. Austin work on now, that say bank customer insert card, ATM insert PIN, then enters PIN, verifies PIN. If it is correct, it will do this. If it is correct, if it is not correct, it will do this. You've just written this thing like a caricature. But the guys that are writing code, they will convert all of these things to code using different language. HTML, CSS, Laravel, maybe use Python, JavaScript, Node.js, all of those different programming, like depends on what they use in the company to bring to life all these things that you've said. So that's the flow of how these things work. Did I manage to answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Correct, correct. So,
Thank you, sir.
it's a big team. What we are training here is the training here is going to afford you the knowledge and the skill set to be able to work as data analyst, business analyst, PMO analyst, or business data analyst, digital business analyst. So that is the area where the training is going to afford you the experience and the skill set to be able to fit in. But stuff like development, maybe the person Python, even though we treat Python in this program, you cannot be a Python developer by this program because our focus is on analytics, not on developing app. Because you can use Python to develop app, to do website, to do lots of things, to do automation, but we don't train on all of those things. We focus on Python for data analysis, SQL focus on data analysis, then BA, you could work as BA in any area, even if it is website that is being built. Your job is to understand the website, that when somebody click this, it will do this, it will do that, and now to put it in diagrammatic form using from this workflow. You can also go to mockup, prototype, as I talked about, that the people that are now using the code to produce it to life will be using. Think about it like the job of an architect. An architect is not the mason that put bricks upon bricks, but the person that put bricks upon bricks need what the architect has done on paper to know where I will put this, where I will put that, where I will put this, where I will put that. So the job we cannot do here in business analysis is very, very close to the job of an architect that is going to draw the whole design, get the model, but in paper. But the mason man, the bricklayers, they will be able to now bring it to life. But they need that acumen to build the foundation, to design it to specification for what they are going to do. Yeah?
Yes. Excuse me, I have a question.
Yes, please go ahead.
At what point in time, like Is it based on all business report or analysis that you go into this algorithm? Let me say, what type of is it depending on the job or the situation before you that will determine whether you have to draw an algorithm before you go out with your analysis or not? Say, for
So
instance, if I have a client now, like the one that we did, that we're talking about dashboard and the stuff, just tell me how I can run my programming, how I can do a proper calculation in my company to take decision. Do I first of all go on algorithm before I know what to do?
no. If what you're doing is purely data analysis, you don't do
Yes.
all of these things. All these things are not data analysis.
Okay.
This is business analysis.
Okay.
So when you are, as I talked about an architect, if I go back to building again, in the building again, you can have some persons that are quantity surveyors.
Sure.
So the little I know about those guys is that they can count like how many blocks, how many cement you need, and
Yes.
multiply it by the price of cement and tell you
Yes.
the quote that you might need. But they
Yeah.
are not the one doing the whole planning and not the whole architect or the design of the work. Neither are they the mason. They are just crunching numbers to give you estimates. So that's the way it is. They don't need to be
Okay.
architects. So it's kind of different. So this one is more like you are putting to paper a product. We call it a product. Yeah.
Okay.
So when we say digital product, take note of that word. So a
Okay.
product is a specific deliverable that, like when I started and talked about agile methodology, I came up with a mobile app that is a product. Facebook, Twitter app or website or
Mhm.
whatever app you have now, all of those things, the BA will do all of this process flow and all of these things, do all the mock-up, do all the prototype before all those things are being designed. So
Okay.
that is the workflow when you want to produce a digital product. It's
Okay.
different from when you have some data, you
Data.
want
Yeah.
to analyze data. It's two
Okay.
completely different things. My
Okay.
team where I worked, we have this product, which is the app. Now, this app is producing data every minute, every second, but we need to analyze the data. Say you design an app now that can do anything, like Facebook app, for instance, there are data analysts at the back. What are they doing? How many people download Facebook? How many people delete Facebook? How many people are using Facebook? Are they in Nigeria? Are they in Ghana? Are they in London? For us to know where they are using our Facebook app, how many people are using it? Is it like the people using it, they no longer log in anymore? You know that you have 1 million people that have registered, but only 1,000 are logging in per day. All of those jobs is the data analyst that see it at the back end of the app. Then you know that there's a particular place where the app is always failing. Maybe at the point where they click this button to do this operation, it's always bringing error, error, error. Because of the number, maybe 25% is always having that. You tell your dev team, the BA will now go and redesign that workflow. The dev team will go and update the design, and you say, update your app, as you always see on your phone. You have now got to version 3.4. All those workflow is the BA and the dev team. But it's
Yeah.
different from the data. The data analyst takes the number, analyze the numbers to be able to come up insights, ideas, decisions that will help the process.
You.
You're welcome. And then the PMO is just like coordinator, just to make sure everything is working fine. So that's PMO. The PMO, sometimes I look at it like clerical officer. Maybe set up meeting, make sure everything is fine, and communicate between this person and that person. Then we also have the project manager. You all know project manager. If we go back to the house that they are building now, there's one person they always call the engineer on the site that does not even mode block. It does not put bricks upon bricks. It's just there with file and paper. And he's saying, you do this one, you do that one. You did not measure this one very well. It's like a project manager. It's not the one doing it. So even on this job, you also have a project manager who is not the one, it's not the BA, it's not the dev, it's not the data analyst. It's just making sure that everything is done according to the plan and all of that. There's also who we call the product owner. So the product owner is the one representing the client. So when you are building a house, you have one person that goes to supervise what your engineer is doing, what the mason they are doing. It's not really the engineer. It's another person that goes to supervise them. Maybe your cousin that you have in Nigeria is the person that really takes to represent you on site. It's not the engineer that you pay now, but it's your eye on site. It's like the product owner. So that person is the owner of that app that you are designing. The same way your cousin or your brother is the owner of your property on your site in Nigeria when every other person they are working. But you are the overall owner. You are far away. So when an overall owner brings the job, this is how we spread it in the IT sector for people to do. So before now, people generally think IT is just about coding, coding, coding. But we've come to realize that there's lots of opportunities there that you don't even write one line of code. And people are making good amount of money, getting wonderful jobs without having to write any code. Just being able to mediate between people, coordinate this. Is this one working fine? Is everything fine? In fact, there's also Scrum Master. Scrum Master sometimes is like MC, coordinating, sharing meeting, and making sure that there is no blocker and making sure you work according to the agile methodology that we've talked about. All these roles do not require writing codes. So that is the way things are now. So when you finish this training, you can start develop yourself to be like a business analyst, and you'll see different opportunities in this world. You won't write code. These things we've talked about is what you'll be doing. You come into meetings for 1 hour. You'll just be discussing, we're going to do this. Everybody will be contributing. Chineye will be like, no, no, no. I think if we do this, it should look like this. Christian is going to contribute. Miracle is going to contribute. Miriam, all of us are going to think and come up with the idea based upon what the business wants us to do. You now begin to do all of those discoveries, and then you go back to the business again. Do you want us to do this, do that? That's just how it is. It's not like you're going to be writing codes. No. Okay.
All right.
Any other question from any other person? Ironically, the two questions came from the same name, Agbola Tade, Amos Agbola. That's good. Lovely coincidence. I guess they don't know each other. That's fine. Okay. Any other question from somebody else? None? So guys, thank you very much and good evening. Let's see you again on Saturday.
All right. By His grace. Good night.
Okay. Bye now.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome. Bye now.